I'm sure you've heard this before. Black people are racist against white people. More white people are killed by the police than black people. Black on black crime is a real problem. Welcome to Political Critical Thinking. I'm Stephanie. Thanks for joining us. So the first racist myth is that more white people are killed by police than black people. And in raw numbers, the answer is yes, because white people make up 76% of the population, but black people make up 13% of the population, and they are killed 2.5 to 3 times the rate of white people. So that's a problem. I mean, this is a significant problem, and I think the question needs to be why. Well, there's a lot of reasons, but first of all, that racism, unfortunately, is baked into the DNA of the police. And let me explain. The historical roots are that policing comes from slave patrols in the 1700s and 1800s, where police officers on horseback patrolled for runaway slaves, which morphed into black codes in the 1860s, which morphed into Jim Crow, and then morphed into the war on drugs, which created over-policing in the black communities. The other major issue that we need to address is how black people are depicted in movies and in media. Since the beginning of films have been depicted as the villains, as dangerous, as criminals. This automatically seeps into a society and into the mindset. So police officers, through studies, have shown that black people, when they're stopped, are given less time to respond than white people. So this is, again, a systemic issue of our policing. And when you look at how Democrats and Republicans respond to these issues, Republicans have completely removed all accountability for policing, especially in the first and second Trump administration. This is where the Republicans use these statistics to divide and to outrage white people. Because what they do is they just give half of the numbers. So when you have a George Floyd or a Breonna Taylor or a Tamir Rice, when you have these situations where the communities and actually the country becomes outraged at these horrific killings and they protest, and this is very important, and I may not articulate it as well as I want to, but basically what they do is they tell white people through Fox News and right-wing media, they're really just overreacting. And so there's this us versus them. Why do they get to be outraged when we're killed more? They don't actually understand that black people are killed 2.5 to 3 times more than white people. They don't understand that they are giving less time to comply. They're killed for less of an infraction. And this is where I think it becomes very important for all of us as a society to really understand the full data. The second racist myth is that black on black crime is a real problem. Well, let's be clear. Black on black crime is no different than white on white crime. Most crime is intraracial, meaning the same race. And since we've already established that white people make up 76% of the population, crime is actually more significant with white people than it is with black people. It's also important to note that it is white people, especially white men, who make up most of the serial killers, who make up most of the mass shootings, corporate fraud, political crimes, pollution crimes. I mean, basically, white-collar crimes are $300 billion a year problem for Americans, and we pay for it. So very rarely do white people, especially if you're rich, go to jail. And second of all, white people actually hurt more people on a larger scale due to the nature of their crimes. Whereas black on black crime is typically, again, in their neighborhoods, they're 13% of the population, and it's really not an epidemic or a problem. But the reason that they try to make it an issue is what they're trying to do is they're trying to create the imagery or the narrative that African Americans are more violent and more prone to violence than white people. And this just is not statistically true. It's also important to note that black people are sentenced 20% more harshly than their white counterparts for the same exact crime. If you ever get a chance, read a book called Stupid White Men by Michael Moore, and it talks about the prison system and incarceration of people of color. And you will see a higher number, again, knowing that African Americans make up 13% of the population, knowing the actual numbers of what the population is and what they make up in incarceration, the reason black on black crime becomes a narrative is so they can incarcerate more people, and it's just another form of slavery. But at the end of the day, Black crime is exaggerated and white crime is normalized. So the third and final racist myth for this video is that Black people are racist against white people. So that is absolutely impossible for that to happen. I'm sure that some Black people are prejudiced against white people, meaning they don't like white people because, of the 250 years of oppression and then voting in 2 times a racist president and continuously creating laws and systemic racism that keep them down and not allowing Black people to actually have upward mobility as easily as white people. There's a lot of reasons why Black people would be prejudiced against white people, and I would tend to agree with every single reason. But they are not racist. And not liking somebody is not the same as being racist. Racist is when you have prejudice plus power plus influence. Let's be clear, Black people do not hold the majority of wealth in this country. They do not control the courts. They do not control the laws. The only people who have power, who control everything in this country right now, and probably most of the world, is white men. That is it, full stop. There's no reality where women or people of color or African Americans or anybody besides white men hold enough power in this country to be racist against anybody. Again, they may be prejudiced. They may not like a certain race. That's okay. We don't need to be liked by everybody. Get over it. But they're not controlling your ability to move upward. They're not controlling your ability to find a job. They're not controlling your ability to get ahead. That is white men who are doing that. Let's be very, very clear. If you live in poverty because of the laws that were created, it's not DEI. That's not the problem. And we will talk about that in another video. But DEI didn't keep you out of the job. You probably should really understand what diversity means and how it actually benefits you as a person in poverty or a person in a disability or a veteran or any group. It's not white versus Black. It's not woman versus man. It's all groups that are not in the white billionaire boys club is considered diverse. What most of this country doesn't seem to understand is that they have created a division between races and men versus women. It's always a division. Your religion versus my religion. Your skin color versus my skin color. And they're trying to make people feel, especially the majority of people in this country, because the majority of people are white, and those are the people who vote, right? You want to affect the majority when you want to win elections. And they want more white people to feel like victims and that they're being persecuted and that somebody's getting something that they're not getting, which is just untrue. So what we're trying to do is get us to start thinking, because they're not teaching us these things. They're not teaching us history. They're not teaching us civics. They're not teaching us statistics. They're not teaching us how to source data. Our goal here is to try to get you guys to think differently. And this is like, listen, if you're a MAGA and you're listening to this, great. If you're getting any information from it, great. But this content is for pro-democracy people who want to have better conversations, want to stop going around in circles about stupid shit. We need to talk about what this is about. And this is about division. This is about creating a system that keeps us fighting against each other, that keeps an us versus them mentality, so other people, the white billionaire boys club, can stay in power and control us. Because it's not just about race, it's about economics. The reality is, the more different than you are than the masses, the easier you are to put in a box and isolate and get other people to turn against you. This is a very standard how to kill a democracy for dummies. Once you start paying attention to what's happening and you're thinking, well, it's affecting other people, not me, this is how they do it. This is how they strip away our freedoms. So I'm asking white people to wake the fuck up and realize, like, if you don't right now have any empathy for anybody else other than yourself, then think of this lesson as self-preservation. Think of this as an opportunity to make sure that you keep your freedoms by fighting for other people, by fighting for people who don't look like you, who don't believe like you believe, who don't love who you love, because those people will affect what happens to you. I promise you. Just pick up any history book ever written throughout time and you will see that the people who support what's happening now, the Trump regime, they are never on the right side of history. There's never been a scenario in the world where that kind of thinking, separating people, talking negatively, hating on groups, those people have never, not once, been on the right side of history. White people, look, we cannot ask the African-American people that we've already established make up 13% of the population to carry the load for the rest of us. We have to step up. We need to understand what we're up against. We need to go back and learn civil rights, the civil rights movement, how we won those movements. It was a very slim majority that won those rights, but it wasn't until white people came to the fight and fought side by side with our Black brothers and sisters that we were able to get civil rights and that we were able to get the Voting Rights Act. It's really important to understand what we all fought for, because it's not just one group, it's all of us. We win or lose together. We rise and fall together. That's it. It's not us against them. It's all of us against the Billionaire Boys Club. So that's what we need to understand. And I hope that these videos are helpful. I hope that we learned a little something. I know I'm learning, I'm relearning a lot of the stuff. It's been really interesting and insightful, and I've found that I have a little bit of a passion for it, and I hope you do too. So 38 racist myths we found. We're down to 35. Please stay tuned for the next videos. We're going to keep rolling these through. So please like and subscribe and share with everybody you know and hit the notification bells. And we will see you on the next one.